Battlefields have changed and technology has evolved, but our commitment to constitutional principles has weathered every war.
Mikey Hicks' family says he's been treated like a terror suspect every time he flies. The airlines say he's on a TSA watch list, even though Mikey is just 8 years old. Mikey
thinks that I'm like some
a weapon with the ability to shoot down aircraft, manipulate nature, and control your mind.
Real innocent researcher or the person that wants to get at the truth, I mean, they need to go out and actually read for themselves. They need to look at the various websites and make up their own decision.
Who seems to come out of nowhere, somehow have ties to the Department of Energy in Los Alamos too. Is there a group connection here?
The big club. You ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club.
Though their discovery posed a very clear challenge to the energy industry, it was the scientific community, mostly physicists, which raised the specter of doubt and wrongdoing.
What on 9/11 is anomalous. For one, there was, I believe, 50 times the normal tritium levels, small amount of anomalous heat effects, like cars exploding, but human bodies surrounding those cars not feeling burnt in any way, shape, or form. What on 9/11 is anomalous. For one, there was, I believe, 50 times the normal tritium levels, small amount of anomalous heat effects, like cars exploding, but human bodies surrounding those cars not feeling burnt in any way, shape, or form.
Studied it. I don't know. It's very confusing. I'm an architect, not a seismologist.
The size of the dust, it is not powderized. It's not ultrafine. It's not even fine. We don't have ultrafine powder.
We have desks and furniture and computers and human beings and other living things turned to particles, Steve.
Mid-July, the DOE panel had completed their damning report. Data affirming vital aspects of the discovery was published in reputable journals. But the presiding agenda of official science, the science of money and politics, drowned the truth in accusations of impropriety and outrage.
Exactly parallel to what happened to Michael Ziemer in 2006.
And you have to make that connection. It's like, you know, even though the details are obscured to us, it's like, how coincidental is it that it's the exact same situation?
I get the impression that an awful lot of those,
like
this guy Greg Jenkins, who seems to come out of nowhere, somehow have ties to the Department of Energy in Los Alamos too. Is there a group connection here?
Distinguished chemists, Dr. Martin Fleischmann and Dr. Stanley Pons, announced to the amazement of the world that they had detected a nuclear-like reaction that could turn water into a powerful new...
A simple demonstration shows how HAARP can control and change the weather.
We're using about 100 watts in this little cloud chamber. HAARP uses a billion
Wicked
watts.
weather stretching across the country's midsection. Tonight, there are winter warnings in place in half a dozen states, from Nebraska to Michigan.
Weather and use it as a weapon of mass destruction.
60 antennas. Each can generate 10,000 watts, 3.6 million watts collectively.
The real innocent researcher or the person that wants to get at the truth, I mean, they need to go out and actually read for themselves. They need to look at the various websites and make up their own decision.
Who seems to come out of nowhere somehow have ties to the Department of Energy in Los Alamos too. Is there a group connection here?
It's a big club. You ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club.
Volcano we're watching, apparently. Meteorologist Ivan Cabrera is here to tell us about that. How many?
Well, we're watching 4, believe it or not.
All
because,
at Iceland.
Yeah, Japan just got involved. So we'll...
The largest legal AM radio station in the U.S. is only 50,000 watts. But they're not broadcasting out. They're broadcasting up.
When you look at the devastation in Haiti's capital city, there is no doubt that this was the big one. A quake so strong that just 10 minutes later, the seismic waves registered here in the Caltech lab in Pasadena, California, 3,009 miles away.
If you are in denial, get over it. Open up your eyes. Take a look around. How's the weather in your neck of the woods? Perhaps it's a little different than it's ever been for your locality. Try to find out what's really going on. You won't find out by watching hard copy, or even the evening news. You'll have to get away from the latest political scandal of who is sleeping with whom and dig just a little deeper to find the things of real importance. Did you know that tornadoes have been spotted, for the first time in history, that are spinning the wrong way? Did you know that there are places in Mexico where the ground temperature is heating up in excess of 200 degrees? Did you know that during a 7-day period in early June there were 772 earthquakes recorded on the California, Nevada border near Mammoth Lake? Did you know that on May 31st, the jet stream, an extremely fast wind current that flows through the upper atmosphere, touched ground for the first time in recorded history? Did you know that all over North America, migratory birds have stopped returning to their nesting grounds? And that salmon are no longer returning to their spawning grounds? And indigenous tribes throughout the world have stopped having children? Okay, so much for denial. Once you accept that change is happening, let go of fear. Realize that it is a time of change and not necessarily a time of fear. Fear clouds good judgment and put heavy blocks between the inner intuition, which will be so important during this time, and your conscious mind. The earth changing will not kill you, it changes all the time. But fear, denial, and not being open to your inner self and your intuition may.
A lot of people in parts of Asia and the western United States spent yesterday gazing at the heavens, and for good reason. A rare type of eclipse turned the sun into a ring of fire. Not blocked all of the sun. A tiny bit of light remained around the edges. The ring of fire.
A sinkhole estimated to be the size of 4 football fields opens up the ground in Ohio. The massive hole has eaten away at part of a state highway. It will have to be closed for months while engineers figure out how best to repair it.
Take a look at what experts are increasingly calling the so-called ring of fire that is circling the entire Pacific Ocean. Do you remember Chile's massive earthquake about a year ago? Then we had that big one in New Zealand just last month. Then, of course, Japan. And if this clockwise trend continues, my next guest says North America looks to be on tap next.
Yellowstone in northwest Wyoming, land of geysers, mountains, and lakes, is also sitting atop a super volcano. And it just took what scientists describe as a deep breath, causing miles of ground to rise dramatically.
When it blows, it could destroy the United States as we know it.